Springfest at Lowe's means can't miss savings for your home and lawn. Right now, buy 3 bags, get 3 free on Miracle-Gro 3/4 cubic foot all-purpose garden soil. Plus, buy 2, get 1 free on select exterior paint and stain via mail-in rebate. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/16, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. While supplies last, selection varies by location. See rebate form for complete list of eligible products. Offer excludes clearance and mist tints and can't be combined with any other offer, promotion, discount, or coupon.
We've noticed online and in our inbox and out in the streets tension over whose streets these belong to. Can we keep Philly streets safe for bikers? How do we keep Philly walkable for pedestrians? And what if you just need your car to live life? It's Monday, April 14th. I'm Trinae Nuri, and here's what Philly's been complaining about. This is the first in an occasional series we're trying to do on CityCast Philly and in our Hey Philly newsletter about sharing the streets in this city. We're calling it Whose Streets? We got the idea because our listeners and our readers had a really strong reaction to our coverage over the Philadelphia Parking Authority, or PPA. They're doing this new enforcement program, and it's aimed at ticketing people in loading zones. I'm joined today by Matt Katz, our executive producer. Hey, Matt.
Hey there, Trinae.
And Siani Colon, who writes Hey Philly. Hey, Siani.
Morning, Trinae.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about this issue and how it's part of a larger tension in Philly. I just can't even emphasize how many sides there is to this particular issue. Before we get into that, though, Matt, catch us up. What's the new thing with PPA?
Yeah, this is like the new tension that's going on out there, and that we're going to start seeing in the next couple of months because there's a whole new ticketing operation that the PPA is doing. They're calling it their Smart Loading Zone Initiative, and it's for 22 loading zones in Center City, just in Center City. Now, loading zones, as you know, have generally been a place where you can pull over for like 20 minutes, park, go grab something from a store. If you're a delivery guy, you can pull over and make your drop-offs and then leave. And when you find one of these, if you're driving around Center City looking for a parking spot, and if you only need to stop for a few minutes, it's like gold. It's great. But there's been an issue with these loading zones becoming overloaded, so to speak, as delivery trucks have just become far more omnipresent on our streets. So they're parked, these delivery trucks can be parked there for quite some time. And that's in turn led to double parking in the lanes of traffic and other illegal parking, which has led to just more congestion in Center City. I mean, if you've driven into Center City in the last year or so and you drove into Center City like 10 years ago, you know that the streets are just definitely more clogged, right?
Yeah.
So to address this, it's now going to cost you to park in a loading zone for more than 3 minutes, and it never did before, right? It's going to be 10 cents a minute up to 60 minutes. And the idea is that this will lead to some turnover. This will move the trucks, particularly in and out, faster and, help with, just the flow of overall traffic in Center City and reduce gridlock. And the way it works is pretty interesting. You won't have to, fight with a PPA guy about your ticket anymore, and at least in this circumstance, because they're going to be using automatic license plate readers to check your plates. You have to be signed up with this new system called Curb Pass, which will bill you based on how long you've been there. So the license plate reader will look at your plates are registered, and they'll bill you up to 60 minutes. If you stay longer than that, then you get a $51 ticket. If you're not signed up with Curb Pass at all and you're parked for more than 3 minutes, you're going to get a ticket in the mail after those 3 minutes for $51. And if you're double parked, they're also going to get you, and that's a $76 ticket.
Jeez.
So it's more regulation, more enforcement, more ticketing, and therefore Some were complaining, although some people are happy.
I'm familiar with this type of technology because if you're driving on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, there's the toll by plate, which captures a picture of your license plate as you
Right, same
travel
kind of
through the
thing.
toll point. And then they'll mail you a bill, another
Yeah.
bill. Okay. So, Siani, what are readers saying about just driving, parking, biking, and walking in Center City these days?
Yeah, so when I first shared this story in a Hey Philly newsletter, you guys had a lot to say. I asked, and you definitely delivered. So here's a sense of some of what our Hey Philly readers had to say. Rosemary from Philly said, "It's a good idea for the permit, but 3 minutes is not enough time to unload a truck. The truck driver is doing his job, and it's very difficult to unload a truck in a congested city. Most buildings have an unload zone, but many older buildings do not."
And now, point of clarification here, you could pay to stay for longer than 3 minutes, but obviously that's a cost to the driver, which could in turn be, trickled down to the consumer, whoever's buying this product that you're getting delivered.
And a lot of people are getting stuff delivered to their house.
More than ever.
Food, books, clothes, everything, really.
I got 12 wiffle balls delivered yesterday
Oh, really?
for my son.
I know.
And the 3 minute mark is definitely something that some people aren't too sure about. EG from Overbrook said, "It's quite apparent that folks who think this is a great idea never had to wait for an elevator in an older Center City building, never had to get signatures for packages to be released, nor watch a delivery service employee load a hand truck and then navigate it halfway down pedestrian crowded Walnut Street. It's nearly impossible to park a vehicle, loading zone or otherwise, to get out the vehicle, arrive at your destination, and conduct your legitimate business in 3 minutes. Go back to the drawing board. Better yet, let's time all those in favor of this ridiculous time limit and make them pay triple the fine if they are over the limit. Solve real problems, not create them."
3 minutes is not enough.
But if you sign up for Curb Pass, 10 cents for every minute after that. So you're like, you need an extra 10 minutes. That's $1.
Who came up with the 3 minutes? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And then everyone's like, "Yep, there you go, 3 minutes. That's perfect."
This is Philadelphia Parking Authority.
Okay.
Yeah, but we did get another perspective from someone who actually is a delivery driver. AB shared, "I wanted to offer another opinion on a smart loading zones debate. As a full-time school social worker, I deliver for Grubhub on the side due to the rising cost of living. Many educators face the same struggle working extra jobs because fair wages are rare in the field. While I see the appeal of smart loading zones, I want to highlight the challenges delivery drivers face. Customers often tip poorly, and some orders pay as little as $2 to $4 for miles of driving across the city, barely covering gas, let alone vehicle wear and tear. Additional parking fees would further cut into already low earnings. I share this not to just advocate for better tipping, though please do, but to offer another perspective. Many drivers take on this work to survive and are treated with contempt. A small extra cost to you could mean half of a driver's earnings for a trip. Delivery drivers face tough parking choices, risk an expensive ticket by double parking, waste time searching for free parking, or pay for scarce spots, cutting into earnings. I hope readers can empathize with these challenges and understand the difficult trade-off drivers make."
I appreciate AB's comment here. This is actually reflected in the latest season of Abbott Elementary. I don't want to spoil too much, but one of the characters, and we know they are an educator, and in order to make some extra money, they have to do rideshare. But I don't know, we kind of all use Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, whatever. And it's not necessarily that we don't want to tip. Those fees that go back to those companies are really high. And so that kind of scares away people, or I think that kind of determines people to pay lower tips.
Sure. But we rely on them so much, and that has absolutely made a difference in our streets and how our streets operate. I mean, how often have you gotten stopped on a one-lane street in Philadelphia if you're driving in a car because somebody in front of you is delivering one, bag of food to somebody and waiting for them to come downstairs and get the food and open the door, and then taking the picture of them getting the food.
Mm-hmm.
And then the cars are now backed up all the way to the next intersection. I mean, this is a nonstop occurrence, and it's not something that was common 5 years ago.
But do you think people should just be patient? Like,
Totally.
calm down.
Most people are.
Let the delivery driver just do
For
their
sure.
job and just, okay, like, just, you're going to wait like 3 extra minutes.
For sure.
I will say, though, it's just a little bit frustrating when you realize you're going to be stuck behind an Amazon truck that has several deliveries on the block. But I think this goes to show that it's a multi-layered issue, because it's not like the delivery drivers want to be stopping traffic. And
They have nowhere else to park.
Exactly. And there's this definitely bleeds into a larger conversation to maybe get to another time of just like what gig workers are going through in this economy. And some other perspectives that we got, Ruby from West Philly said, I don't see how this will reduce congestion or stop folks from double parking. What they could do is open up more parking spaces by reviewing or revising current parking rules.
Another thing that could be done is you could raise the permit fees. I mean, people who live around Center City, some of those streets are residential permits, and the permit fees are pretty low. And there's been talk of raising those fees to maybe encourage people to stop using their cars and getting around via public transportation and other means.
No, don't raise the fees, please. Please don't raise the fees.
And then lastly, a different perspective from T. Williams from South Jersey, who regularly visits Philly. I'm one of those people that is for the PPA. As much as I hate getting ticketed by them, they seem to be one of the most efficient agencies in the city. I always make it a point to be friendly to them because I'm sure it's a tough job and they face a lot of negativity and potentially even violence at times. This is one of those cases of hate the player, don't hate the game, and that there are laws out there to try to make all of our lives easier. But some people think they are above the law and can do whatever they want, which inconveniences the majority of us. If we are going to have laws on the books, then we need to enforce them for them to be effective. The only thing that has been lacking here has been enforcement, and new technology is making these things easier to enforce. Hopefully, we will all benefit. Just follow the rules.
I rarely hear people say, if not ever, that they like PPA.
Listen, it's the PPA people are doing the job, right?
Yeah.
They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So you should not be cursing out your PPA person.
No.
Be nice
It's
to
really
your
your
PPA
fault
person.
that you forgot to, extend the time when you're parking.
Yeah. And they have, the PPA has meetings. Go to the board meetings. Go to their public meetings. Complain there about the policies. I'm on board with T. Williams' call for respect for the PPA folks.
I was like, what does it say that someone from South Jersey is getting the impression that PPA is one of the most efficient agencies in Philadelphia?
Well, I mean, you park illegally, you get a ticket. That seems to work pretty efficiently.
But yeah, these are the perspectives that we got. So it's definitely a range. Some folks who are really for this, others who think enforcement is a good idea, but maybe some other form of it, and others who are just like, we need to go back to the drawing board.
All right. Well, these arguments, this debate is really part of a larger issue about who has priority on the streets of Philly, specifically in Center City. More on what we all think about this after the break. Filler Club is a private city club in the heart of Center City, designed as a third space for the modern city dweller, equal parts professional, social, and cultural hub. Located across from 30th Street Station, there's a boutique hotel with 14 thoughtfully designed rooms, perfect for members, friends, and family. And membership gets you access to dining, events, and a full fitness suite with an indoor pool, climbing wall, and spa services. Filler Club's work and innovation hub, ideal for entrepreneurs, remote workers, and teams of colleagues. And when you're thinking about work, there's everything from shared desks to private offices and boardrooms. Learn more about Filler Club becoming your third space, where work, community, and leisure intersect. Get more details at fillerclub.com/citycast membership.
Hi, I'm David Plotz, the CEO of CityCast. We've all set health goals: lose weight, exercise more, eat better. But without a plan, those goals often fade. That may have happened to you. It has definitely happened to me. And that's where Prolon comes in. Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet gives you a science-backed, structured approach to stay on track and see real results. And now Prolon is upping their game with the new next-gen 5-day program, delivering the same science-backed benefits in a cleaner, more convenient, and more flavorful format. Prolon is a plant-based nutrition program featuring soups, snacks, and beverages designed to nourish the body while keeping it in a fasting state, triggering cellular rejuvenation and renewal. Next Gen builds on the original Prolon with 100% organic soups and teas, a richer taste, and ready-to-eat meals. Developed over decades at USC's Longevity Institute and backed by top U.S. medical centers, Prolon has been shown to support biological age reduction, metabolic health, skin appearance, fat loss, and energy. I've been doing the 5-day program, and I feel so much better. I really enjoy the tasty energy bars, the snacks and soups, and the fact that I can enjoy meals, even though the calorie count is super low. The flavors and textures are excellent. An olive oil snack here, broccoli and quinoa soup there, hibiscus tea, a yummy nut bar. It's got the benefits of a 5-day fast, but doesn't have the challenge of doing it with pure liquids. It's a system reset. And also, I know this sounds funny, but it's not. The packaging and directions are fantastic, clear, and well-organized and thoughtful. For a limited time, you can be first in line to experience the new Next Gen at special savings. Prolon is offering CityCast listeners 15% off site-wide, plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe to their 5-day program. Just visit prolonlife.com/city. That's PROLONLIFE.com/city to claim your 15% discount and your bonus gift. prolonlife.com/city.
When I think about this whole issue of like whose streets these are, I think of it kind of like all the way around. People are just aggressive. It doesn't matter like what form of transportation or mode of transportation you're using, you're going to be aggressive while doing it. And these are some examples. I've been cursed out as a pedestrian by a cyclist, I guess for walking too slow. And then when my kids were younger and they were in strollers, I dealt with drivers plowing through a crosswalk,
Oh
you
my
know,
God,
without
that would
yielding to us.
drive me nuts. I'm pushing a stroller across the street. Stop your damn car. Crazy.
Right. So I end up cursing at, the drivers.
Totally.
And then like as a driver, parking is basically impossible in Center City. You have to spin the block several times. Spots get filled up so fast. And then you're just dealing with people not letting you merge. People are tailgating you, like on your bumper. And so I just think like travel in Philly just period is like a sport. And you have to be like aggressive to survive. But then like you want to be nice too. It's just so crazy.
Well, this will theoretically, according to the PPA, this is going to make the streets a little bit calmer because it's going to, sometimes you think about it. You have a Amazon delivery driver who's double parked because someone's been sitting in the loading zone for 2 hours and the driver has nowhere else to pull over. So they are double parked. And then cars are trying to get around him, but it's slowing the traffic down. Then traffic is slowed down like 2 blocks. And then there's cars in the intersection. And then there's people trying to cross through the crosswalk, pedestrians, but then the cars are there and they're getting into it because the pedestrian versus the car. And then there's the biker. And then there's the scooter with the DoorDash. And it's like it leads to a series of very frustrating events. And I feel like this is what this program, this new initiative is supposed to address, is to calm shit down. The calmness that Trinae, you were saying you'd like to see when you're driving into Center City or walking through Center City.
Absolutely.
The executive director of the PPA, Rich Laser, he told the Inquirer, quote, "More folks are using the curb than ever before. Bike lanes, parking, outdoor seating, delivery. There's higher demand on the curb and it's the same size it has ever been. Technology like this helps us manage it better." So I guess we'll see what happens.
Rich actually was on the show before.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, To register for the Curb Pass, you can text PHIL, Phil, to 855-707-1211 to register. Again, that's 855-707-1211. And we'll have links and information in our show notes.
There's one additional PPA initiative that I wanted to mention here in the show. Did you hear that they're now also going to start ticketing people who stop or park in bus lanes? They're starting this next month, and they're going to be using video cameras mounted on both SEPTA buses and trolleys to catch drivers who are blocking the bus lanes, and then they're going to send them a $76 ticket. Something about 76, by the way. Is that like 1776, freedom, free our bus lanes? Regardless, this is also an issue for anybody who's taken a bus and been stopped by somebody, parked in the bus lane. Apparently, our buses only move at 8 miles an hour on average. I think I walk faster than that. That's wild. And that's compared to 14 miles per hour nationally for buses. So this is another effort using cameras to try to free up the streets. And this is a joint operation between PPA and SEPTA. And again, I'm sure nobody has any strong opinions about this.
Listen, I don't mind that, because people rely on the buses to get them to school, work, appointments on time. And so when a car is blocking the flow of traffic for a bus, it would piss me off too if I was on the bus. But listen, I want to take this a step further. As someone who would ride the bus, you get off the bus and you need to cross the street. But you gotta be careful if you cross the street, because an aggressive driver might go around the bus really fast because they don't want to get stuck behind a bus. Ooh. So if those cameras are on the bus, on the trolleys, are people going to get ticketed because they go around? And that can be dangerous.
That has happened to my brother. That
he got hit?
A car ran over his foot. It was a few years ago, but again, you're trying to catch this SEPTA bus, but then here comes a car. So it's you never know what's going to happen, and just have to be really vigilant, unfortunately.
Wow.
Now, listen, I'll be honest, as a driver, I have done that, but I am so cautious and I go slow, but a lot of people don't.
They're not going to be ticketing people for that just yet, but you can imagine, since they now have this technology, that it could expand to other means of enforcement.
I have so much thoughts on this.
Please.
All right, let's hear it.
As a reigning passenger princess, I rely on SEPTA a lot to get around. I do not drive, guys. Everyone keeps asking me, when are you going to get your license? Who knows? So one day, certainly not now with the way that PennDOT's looking. But when they announced that they were having these bus lanes in Center City, it felt like Christmas morning to me, because I've seen those types of bus lanes in New York, and they really were strict about it. And I thought it was a good addition to Philly, but it takes more than a fresh can of paint to make a difference, because I can't tell you the amount of times I've ridden a 33 or the 17 on Market Street. It's I don't really feel like walking right now. Let me just get ahead on the bus. We're going nowhere. Are we getting there? Not really, because there's a car parked in the bus lane, and now we're all stuck here. And
I just want to add, the 33 bus is one of those accordion buses. Mm-hmm. So that bus driver has to whip that bus around just to get around the car. Just say.
Yep.
And it just causes a whole mess and defeats the whole purpose. Seeing drivers have to let out passengers on random sections of the sidewalk or street because the actual bus stop is blocked. Yeah. And it's a whole mix of people. I've seen delivery drivers and Ubers, but the worst offenders I've seen are Philadelphia police. It never feels most of the time that something is blocking a bus lane in Center City. It is a cop car. So it's how do people take this seriously when the city's own enforcers aren't following this policy? So I do hope that this program makes a difference. I do side-eye the use of AI a little bit. SEPTA and the PPA said they'll check for mistakes.
Yeah, because
So-
they're using AI on these as part of this technology for this program. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, could this be a beneficial use of AI? Possibly. You guys know how I feel about the over-reliance of AI right now and its environmental impact. But I'm just really looking forward to actually getting around on the bus lanes.
Yeah. If the cops are parked in the bus lanes, then they should be there on a police duty. It should not be because they are on break. and
Right.
just
I was
need a
going to say they
place to
might be
park.
fighting crime. or
There ain't no
something.
emergency, no whoop whoop on the sirens. It's just there.
No whoop whoop. All right. Well, we'll have to see the results of all of this new ticketing that's going to be coming around.
And if you've got thoughts, listeners and readers, hit us up. You can email us at philly@citycast.fm, or you can give us a call, leave us a voicemail. If we can use what you said on the air, possibly in a show, let us know. Our phone number is 215-259-8170. 215-259-8170. You could also text us there.
Matt, Siani, thank you so much for joining me on CityCast Philly today.
Good luck not getting a ticket out there, guys.
See you guys on SEPTA.
That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. If you enjoyed this episode about whose streets these are, tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're signed up for our morning newsletter, Hey Philly, so you can learn more about what else Philly's talking about. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye.